Hello friends, I have something very special to share with you today. I actually have 3 journals that I have been working on the last 6 weeks, and they are part of my Mermaid series. If you have been following along for several months, that's what I've been working on. I just love this theme. It makes me happy. It's colorful. It's fairy tale, and that's what I've come up with. So this particular journal is called Sapphire Seas, and it has a beautiful pintuck taffeta, silk taffeta cover. These are part of the luxury bundle fabrics that I have available if anybody is interested. So it is a wrapped cover. And then what I have done is I've come up with a journal topper. These can be removed so that you've got no embellishments on the front, and you can just work away and do your writing, your journal keeping, whatever it is you'd like to do, or add to it. This particular applique, of course, is vintage. Isn't that just a stunner? And I had this vision in my head when I saw it of doing a ruffle around it. I used some of my gray netting or tulle curtain panel that I have. It sure goes a long way. And then I just attached it to this antique lace on a writing board or a topper cover that is made with Craftex to keep it sturdy. 2 layers of it. What I've done is I've glued or attached the silk ribbon closure in between the 2 layers of Craftex so that it would lay flat and just cover snugly from cover to cover. And that's what it looks like on the side. It's got 2 bows. And then what I will do when I'm ready to ship it off to the new owner is add this beautiful sapphire colored stick pin. Isn't that just a beauty? So let's open it up and go inside. I've used primarily the same digitals all summer long, and I know it's into fall now, but in California we're still sitting really hot, just under 100 degrees in the 90s, and it's going to be dropping soon, the weather, but it's still very, very hot, so it feels like summer to me, and I just really can't get stuck into autumn quite yet. So this little topper, like I said, is completely removable, and then you've got this gorgeous girl. Isn't she a beauty? I absolutely love these digitals. I just think they're so lovely. I've used some artisan paper and just stitched around the frame for a removable journal cover, of course, and you can use it as a card or a tag, tuck it inside, and put it wherever you would like it. This is a close-up of the pintuck taffeta. I have used some glass buttons on the spine. They're quite heavy if you're handling them yourself, and you would know that. They just add such a touch of class, I think, to this journal cover. And then I've got some beautiful dangling trim that I've attached to the inside of the cover. Here's what the inside of the topper looks like. It's Craftex, as I mentioned. So I'll just put these over here and we can go inside. I tend to make 1 signature journals now and just make them very full. I've just found it's more efficient than trying to do 2 or 3 signatures. So this is a 1.5 inch spine. The embellishments are very thick, and I love that effect. Just love it. You see all the lace cascading from the bottom, the side, and then all the floof from the top. So it's very dimensional. I think there are about 22 or 23 pages, which makes it 88 to 90 sides that you can actually adorn or add to. On the inside, I've got some beautiful sparkly calico cotton, I believe it is. Here's the trim, close up of the dangle trim. And then this beautiful vintage lace dyed blue, sapphire blue. This tag I made during the lace board class, master lace board in Vermont. And I had cut it up into pieces, and then I've just been using it and adding it to my journal. So I backed it with parchment paper, added some beautiful vintage pearlescent diamond trim, and then the tulle netting. Now, what I wanted to also point out is the diamond shape I have repeated because of the pintuck taffeta cover on the front. And then I've also got it in one more place. I can't think of it right at this moment, but that will, when I find it, I'll point it out. So just beautiful ocean themed digitals. Tea-dyed, of course, the pages. I've got some of Sheila's gorgeous bling, my favorite. I just love this one. It's so pretty. And then I've got a bunch of tags and journaling cards that are not attached, but they can be moved around wherever the recipient would like to put them. Beautiful vintage lace on the page edge. And this tag, I've added some gorgeous fluff. This is holographic paper. I love it so much. And I've just used some book page, vintage book page in the background, some appliques that I've cut up and stitched around the image. Some antique ledger paper, some rag paper, and then some beautiful vintage or antique lace on the page edge. Journaling card that I've got here with some, it's not really Cupro, but it's very much like Cupro, and a pretty little applique at the bottom. I love these images, they're so pretty. And some crochet lace at the bottom of this page. I did a mixed media technique on the back of all the digital papers. I used the shimmer polish, gilding polish, and then did some script stamping. Text script stamping. Image of a pretty little mermaid girl and another mermaid. It's the same series as this one. I think it's by Modernista. Gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful vintage lace, and it has a slight aqua tone in it. So pretty. Lace veil page. Some coffee dyed paper by Vanessa Clements. Les Mis, a vintage book page. Romeo and Juliet book page. That's a vellum sticker of a turtle. And then I've made this journaling card with some vintage chenille rickrack and some beautiful embellished chiffon ribbon at the top, some embossed paper and cotton paper, and then some trim on the side of this parchment paper, a tag that I have used some artisan paper, added these beautiful iridescent or holographic buttons, vintage buttons, to the ends of the ribbon. I've just laced them through the journaling card for some interest. And this page, I've got this adorable little, I love this charm. It's a squid, and it's in that holographic look. Journaling card that I have embossed on the back, dry embossed, which means running it through an embossing machine. Wet embossing is using embossing ink and then using a heat tool so that it raises and bubbles. That's the difference between the two embossing, if you've heard of it being talked about that way. Some beautiful Venice lace all across the bottom. Love, love, love it. Some more paper by Vanessa. I don't know if this is eco dyeing, but it's sure a beautiful color of blue. And then this is one of my favorite layouts. I just love this. I hope you can see it in full. I've done a journaling tag here, Added some vintage wallpaper, did a bit of stenciling with the antique sand paste, added some vintage crochet lace and a vintage button that I've clipped the back, like the shank off the back, so it lies a little bit more flat, or lays a little bit more flat. Gorgeous applique from Susie, of course. Some more embossed paper with an image of these beautiful mermaids. This is probably my favorite spread in this journal for sure. Love it. And then on this, the side of the vintage music paper, I've got an envelope that I've just made and attached a pretty little seahorse, again in the holographic sea themed. And then I've got one of Nikki Seavey's beautiful appliques. So I got these from her about a year ago, and I have a treasure box full of them just waiting to be used. I'm sure she's been waiting to see them in my projects, and it's not that I've forgotten about them. I have something in mind that I want to do with them, and I will be working on that in the near future. So this is just tea-dyed paper, and I've left it open so it can be sealed by the recipient or used however she would like it. And then, oops, I think I had it the other way around. It just straddles the page here with a small tag with the image of a seahorse. Beautiful sapphire blue digital papers, some beautiful lace, holographic lace. Got a mermaid on this side with some abalone shell charm. A pretty tag that I've added some applique and fibers to. I just love these. I just love the texture. I use about 5 different kinds, I think, per tag, and they do get quite bulky, but I like to pin them at the top of the page, and then all that floof can just hang over. Of course, they can be moved and used in any page of this journal or wherever you would like it. You can even use them as a gift card for someone. Some cotton paper. And then here's the center of the signature where I've used some book page from a Mermaid book that I have, and some of Sheila's beautiful sequin trim. And what I do is I let it extend over the page just a little bit so that you can see it. I just love that effect. And then your mermaid here. I've got these very long dangles. I love long dangles with beads, and the mermaid tails in sapphire or cobalt blue. And then some more of the trim. Another lovely tag on this side of the page with some aqua fibers and the white, the sparkly iridescent white. And a pretty applique on the bottom. Here I have some of Gisela's trim from Lavish Laces. It is vintage and it is stunning. I don't think she has it anymore, but I still have a little bit I can use in another project, but I just think it's gorgeous. I love the way it adds some interest to the side of the pages here. And I've got a tag made out of some beautiful artisan paper with a little charm of a tropical fish, some vintage lace, pearl trim, stitched on the image, and used a manila folder in a craft color, and added some sari silk at the top. So this is very textured, like I said, but I just love the effect. I just think it's so beautiful. A vintage doily with some beading and sequin trim on it, and I've just used it as a tuck spot. This is the antique postcard that I'm including with this journal. I can't make out the date there. But I do buy them as antique or for sure vintage. Another journaling card and some pretty crochet trim in the blue. these mermaids with some fibers at the top and some double-sided paper. Love it. Here's the other side of the Venice lace, the beautiful dyed paper by Vanessa. And then on this side, I've got a couple of small tags, just some journaling, extra journaling space. And then what I did was I included the button card, and these are actually crystal buttons. I thought they were glass, but they're crystal, and they're still heavy as well. So there you go. Another sweet little charm on this embellished paper clip of some seashells. A booklet made from one of our beautiful mermaids with some of Gisella's trim in the vintage silver rickrack, and some of Marjorie's gorgeous papers with the gold flecks. This one is in the aqua. Lace edge trim. And then I've got a journaling card that I've done, some French book page, some sage colored, green colored antique sand paste. It's very dry, like I've mentioned before. You have to work very quickly with it and add a lot of water. A little tiny tag with a turtle charm, and then a vintage doily as the topper. Some more vintage book page and the lace veil page, and then I've got this beautiful image. I just absolutely love this one. I've used it as the cover of the next journal that you're going to be seeing, the pink one, Pink Sands. And these can just be used as extra writing space. Lovely Mermaid digital. Couple of journaling cards in this page that has the dangling crocheted lace. Just use the backs for journaling, extra journaling space. This journaling tag has some beautiful fibers at the top and a gorgeous applique backed onto some cardstock paper that can be journaled on the back, of course. And some beautiful vintage lace on the side of the page. The rag paper, the antique ledger paper. And then this tag is like one that I've made in the other journals. I've used the Dupioni silk as the background, and then this antique aqua lace. It's absolutely stunning. I just love it. Little bit of crinkled seam binding, and then a tiny little booklet that can be used for extra journaling space to tuck your secret notes in. Some crocheted lace on the side of that page, and then I've done a mixed media tag. I've used some vintage music sheet paper, some vintage wallpaper, just some collaging of vintage lace, and then one of a cutout of Sheila's beautiful blingy trims. They are so fun to use. I love it. And here we've got the last page, again with some of Sheila's beautiful blingy trim in the silver and pearl. And then on this side, I've used the lace, of course, as a tuck spot or a pocket, open pocket. Cute little booklet with some vintage looking pearls and extra writing space. And then I have done a tall tag, which can also be used as a journal topper. If you've seen my other projects, this might look familiar to you. I used the same idea and the same papers. I've got a little tiny tag there with some embossed paper and a charm, some sari silk as a topper, and then some beaded trim at the bottom, and a griffin paper. And that is Sapphire Seas. So this one has been spoken for. I just absolutely love it, and I'm so glad that the home that it's going to be going to, it's going to be treasured and used. So thank you for watching this video. Of course, I'm going to have a couple more coming today, and we will see you on the next one. Bye now.